Welcome back to Reflect. I'm Toria.
And I'm Tarja.
In our last video, we discussed Case 39. So if you want to see that review about that movie, check it out on our page. In today's video, we're going to discuss the issues and horrible things we found while watching two movies. One is called Lolita, and the other one is called Leon the Professional. We're not going to do like a typical review about each movie. We're just going to share our thoughts about what we've seen in these type of movies. So in each movie, there's like a disgusting behavior, like relationship that's happening between a grown man and a young girl. So the first movie is Lolita. I'll give you like a quick one sentence statement of the summary of that movie. So the Lolita film focuses on Herbert, a middle-aged literature lecturer
who became like a professor, I guess you could say,
and an English professor who becomes sexually infatuated with Lolita, a 14-year-old girl.
And then also I want to note that Lolita was kind of loosely based on a true story. So if you have seen that, it's kind of based on that.
And then the other movie we're going to talk about is Leon the Professional, which follows Leon, a professional hitman who reluctantly takes in a 12-year-old Matilda after her family is murdered by corrupted DEA agents. So in Leon the Professional, the girl, the 12-year-old, she come home, find her whole family is basically killed, and her neighbor is the Leon, and she runs to his door for help because the DEA was probably gonna turn her next.
Right, trying to clear
the corrupt cops were gonna be with her next, go after her next. Now we want to talk about some of the disgusting behaviors that happen between the inappropriate relationships between the grown man and the young women in each movie. And one thing that was prevalent throughout the movie was grooming.
With that grooming, like kind of like an older man, kind of taking on a younger person or a younger, like someone they want to kind of have a sexual relationship with, but they trying to manipulate them, their mind and everything just to be under their complete control.
Yes. And in each movie, the girls were perceived to be more mature or older, and the men treated them as such. Like in Lolita, she basically was sitting on his lap and kissed him a few times.
Yeah, like it was like a lot of like kind of sexual acts they tried to have in Lolita. Like she was just this seducer of this older man who was all like mysterious and behind the scenes. And then here comes Lolita. She just like this sexual being, trying to seduce him.
And in any normal video or out there, it'd been okay if the person was around Humphrey age.
Lolita. Like she's 14. And they try to make it seem like she was just such an adult. Like she's basically his age range.
Yes, I just thought was nuts in that movie.
And then also we mentioned like in Lolita, her mom did died too. And so she kind of depended on Herbert.
Yeah, because Herbert, I called him Humphrey. Sorry about that. And
he was named Herbert.
Herbert, sorry about that.
I messed up his name.
So, with Herbert, though, he was dating Lolita's mom at the time. Mm-hmm. And then that's how he was able to get connection to Lolita. And I feel like sometimes with grooming cases, they try to either work at a location where a lot of kids is at, or like a school, maybe like a youth pastor or anything just to have easy access, as they say it, to kids. Yeah, and in this case, it was to a family member.
Right.
And then in Leon the Professional, they made her be a little bit older by having her do these guns because she wanted him to
teach her how to be like a hitman, or like a hit woman. And so she's like, teach me. And so she tried to go out and try to do her own thing until like Leon had taught her how to be a hit women, I guess you could say.
And I feel like in both movies, they never stopped these young girls and said, no, this is not right. Let's get you guys on the right path. Mm-hmm. Like, you lost so much. They just went along and just did creepy things with them.
Right. They made it seem like the men in each movie was like this innocent, like, no, they don't know nothing. They just letting the girl control everything. So, especially like in Leon the Professional. So they did make it seem like Leon, I guess he couldn't read in the movie. So they try to make him seem even less educated, as if they're connected to how he's supposed to be this innocent person.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. They try to connect it to me. It seemed like that to me.
Yeah, they made it seem like that we supposed to feel bad for him.
Yeah, right. That's what it was. They tried to make us feel like sorry for him in some type of way. And then Herbert, they made it seem like more like an introverted, like a writer, and throughout the movie he talked and thought, how somebody just narrating it. That's how they showed it in the movie of Herbert.
Yes. And for both of I want to say back about Lolita. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess it was applied to both of them, with these young girls supposed to help these Herbert and Leon out because they seem as innocent, and the young girls seem smarter than the guys in the movie, and like they supposed to be they. I
don't know, like help her or change them.
Yeah, that's I can see it like that. Yeah, like they
Supposed to be the teachers in a sense.
That's what it kind of was. And then also like they kind of like talk about like how neither one of them had any type of therapy. Like after the death they experienced, like none of them had anything like to help them through their trauma.
Yeah, because in both movies the parents died. So as you mentioned before, Lolita, her mom passed away. And then Leon
in Lolita, he didn't even tell her that her mom died or how she died at first.
Yes.
Just to have more control over her. Like he never even told her at the beginning.
Yep. And that's more like a power play in a relationship.
For sure.
And then Leon Professional, her whole everybody in her family died in that one. And Leon, he wasn't there to like, oh, let me give you therapy, let me take you to the police station.
Right.
Even though I guess the DAs was corrupt, but he could at least reach out to a social worker, any other adult, just to get them help.
Right.
And then I also want to mention in Leon Professional, and in Lolita, they basically, in the beginning of Leon Professional, we never seen her go to school.
Yeah, like none of them, like they both was like 14 and 12, so they weren't even in school any of them moved. Like they did kind of Lolita. She was going to school.
Yeah, she was going to school for private girls' school.
Yeah. And then something happened on Lolita when she was in school.
Yeah, the headmaster actually talked to Herbert about some of the things that they noticed that was going on with Lolita, like she was acting inappropriate with some of the boys, and they did think it was some type of sexual abuse, even though they never initially come out with it that was happening. And when they talked to Herbert, he up there basically just pulled her out of school instead of, talk or the school not even recognize it.
They didn't investigate. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Like in that movie, they never even investigated. Like, why did Lolita have this type of behavior? And they never even investigated anything.
Yeah, and they couldn't fathom that Herbert could have been the source of why Lolita was acting out in the school. They just say, oh, it can't be Herbert because he's like this Christian man as they seen him as, when in reality he was the reason that Lolita was acting like this.
It's funny he was like kind of this professor, so we can't fathom him doing this.
Yeah. And I'm guessing they like during like older. I don't know what year they've been placed in, but it doesn't matter what year it is. Not right or appropriate for this type of relationships to be going on.
And then that kind of remind me of when we was in like one of our past jobs that we had, and how like so we're like kind of like a phone type of job, and the older women that we like kind of talk to, they'd be like, oh, when I was 14, I married somebody who was like 30. And I'm like, that's not okay. Like, that makes it like acceptable. Like, that's kind of like how it reflects in like real life too, that older people be thinking that, oh, back in my day, when I was this age, I had this guy, like, they was this old and stuff, and that's never been okay.
Yeah, it's nothing to brag about.
No,
it's
not at all.
Disgusting that you basically was taken advantage of at a young age.
Right. So it's like, they make it seem like it's okay if people who like under the age of 16 being with like 30-year-olds, and that's never okay.
They should. In each movie, they supposed to be seen as father figures. I would assume if a young girl and an older guy, and you're the only guy in her life at this point, but no, they seen it as an opportunity to have a sexual like
grooming, manipulate,
connection with them. And then Leon, Professional, I would say some
like inappropriate behaviors.
Yeah.
And that one is with some like examples.
I would say them going out on dinner dates, telling him she wanted to kiss him. They even had sex in Lolita.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did. They did because he like paid her for her to have sex with him.
Yes, and Leon the Professional, they never kissed or thing sexual, but it was in a romantic sense.
Yeah, because she was like, how would sex feel? Like that she asked Leon, and he just gave this whole backstory about some girl he used to date and what happened with that, and that's the reason. Not that she 12 years old, just that he had this trauma or traumatic experience with his ex-girlfriend. That's the reason why he didn't want to have sex with her.
And that's another point in the movie where you supposed to AKA feel sorry for him,
right? Once again,
oh my gosh, like the little 12-year-old would say, oh my gosh, like this man is the man of my dreams. I feel sorry for him.
That means so much.
She had like no. And then also in the Lolita movie, when she had sex with him, did he give her money for that?
Yeah, like she'd say, I do this, I have sex with you if you give me this amount and stuff. And then I kind of want to touch on how, at least in like Lolita, she did kind of try to get away from him by like pretending that she was sick at times. And then when she tried to up the money that she was getting in each like sexual encounter, I guess you could say.
Yeah, she gonna save up and run away from him.
She was trying to save up and run away.
And so she kind of she did know it was wrong. And what's the name? The Leon professional. It seemed like she had no idea that
It was
what she
wrong.
was trying to do was wrong, or her trying to be in a relationship or anything like that was wrong.
Yeah.
So that was like sort of good. They did that on Lolita. You know, both movies are just like terrible.
The biggest thing I want to mention that we didn't mention in the beginning was that Lolita, the character who played that, was young.
Oh yeah, the actress who played her was young. Yeah, and she had to play that role, like kissing him and all that.
So
stuff.
was it fake or was it real? Because we see basically abuse on camera. Sexual abuse on camera with them.
I mean,
yeah.
Pretty much.
I would say that how in the ending of each movie, we didn't even see no redemption arc for neither one of the girls.
No, we didn't.
We seen in Leon Professional, she did go to like school like
after Leon died.
Yeah, after Leon, yeah. So at the
Spoiler
end,
alert! I mean,
at the end, yeah, it was like the DEA raided his house and blew it up.
Mm-hmm.
And she after that went to like school.
Yeah, she went back to school. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And no therapy, no help,
counseling,
no adults in her life that could stay on the right path.
It was kind of like a boarding school or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't matter.
And then and Lolita, Lolita, that also wasn't a redemption story for her. She at the end of the movie, she was pregnant.
Yeah, she met some other guy. You know, she did manage to get away from Herbert, but he came back, right?
Yeah, and then Lolita also went from Herbert to another abuser that was older than her.
Another pedophile.
But at the end, she was with a guy that's probably around her age.
Yeah, and that's when she got pregnant.
And Herbert, he up there found her and seen her, and he was going to get sexual acts again from her,
right?
And she wanted the money, so we could see neither one of the girls learned any lesson, or or the guys learned any lesson. And Herbert, he died at the end too.
Oh yeah, he did.
So in both movies, each man died at the end, but we didn't see any
kind of redemption, or I don't know,
change in perspective for each, or character change.
Nope. It's kind of like how each of the movies ended, and it's like nobody received any help.
Nope.
I know, kind of repeating that, but I mean, if you did watch those movies, you see what we're talking about.
Yeah, I just thought the whole overall movie was disgusting. How they showed the appropriate relationship between each,
like girl adults and kids, and I feel like that's kind of. I feel like there's still like stories out there, like in real life outside the movie, where older men preying on these young women, and then older men preying on these young boys too. Like go either way.
Yes.
And these movies didn't kind of glamorize that instead of
saying the negative.
Instead of saying like, oh, this is not right, or kind of like
this is what you shouldn't be doing, and like we just didn't see any positive things that came out with these two movies.
Kind of like what happened with Willie Allen, if you see that documentary too.
All the pedophiles and that's coming out now. Like it's no. Like, what you wish they would have showed in the movie?
I wish they would have showed like her, like each of the little girls, like well, it's not even on the little girls, like to be the ones who say, oh, I need help, I need help or whatever. Like they could have said that, I'm saying, like it's not like all of the little girls.
No,
I feel like the guys should have been actual father figures and not like they realize, oh, this behavior that I'm doing is terrible.
Yes,
something like that.
Yes,
or they should go to prison. That's what that's what I'm saying. They should have went to prison. That's what they did in the movie.
Well, I would say the positive thing they did, both died at the end.
Yeah, but I feel like they should have got caught and went to prison. That's a great ending to the movie.
Yes, that's a great We just want to share our thoughts about the horrible things we notice in each movie. These movies perpetuate the idea that grown men should be with young girls, and most of the blame was on the young women.
Yeah, most of the responsibility was on the young woman. Like the guy was just innocent person,
which we thought was negative and shouldn't portrayed in any movie.
No.
So comment below what you all noticed or things we missed about either movie. And thanks for listening.
Bye.